Alrighty then. Actually, let's test if this headset is working. It wasn't working earlier today. As always, we start by testing sound. Yeah, it is. It is. It is. A little bit of Batman fan art here. I thought this picture was pretty cool, based off of the Joker movie, which I never watched. I have not watched that Joker movie yet. Oh, it's pretty old now. Yeah, that movie's what is it, a year old or something like that. Kind of cool. Oh man, so many things happened today. So we get a couple minutes of just laying down for a second. Um, it was dealing with a function, a function to take the items out of a drop down list, like a options or select list or select element list. So all the options within it, taking those options and then sorting them. But with the function that I got offline, I had to actually, it didn't have, all the attributes that I had in there. So I have a ton of attributes. Excuse me. I have a ton of attributes in my select list. So I was just like, okay, well, how do I get those attributes back? So I was able to figure that out, and that was a pretty cool function. We're actually working on it from yesterday and then till today. So it was a small thing, but it was kind of one of those things where it's just like, if I can get this right, I can get this right. There's really no like big prize at the end of the at the end of the day because of that one. All right. So this stream is about design work. Yeah, I really don't like design work. I really just don't. I just one of the reasons why I don't do it for other people. Um, and if I do it for myself, it's nothing crazy. But I really just don't like design work. One of the things that you have to deal with design work. Let's find this. All right, so Z index. So in Z index, the it has to do with the layers of what shows over what, which takes precedence over what in terms of an element. So if I have a Z index that's higher than one element, the item with the highest Z index actually wins over the other. So in this case, I have this sweet alert, and I actually found out how you can actually have it target just a single div as opposed to the old page. Because the way Sweet Alert works is that it will actually target everything on the page and cover the entire page with it dims the entire page in a sense, or puts an overlay that dims the entire page. But I only wanted it to target a section. Excuse me, sorry about that, guys. Probably a couple more of those until I finally like wake up. Um, But Sweet Alerts, it's a really cool library. I usually do a couple of things. You can have loading screens, or I usually like to have an overlay where you can't click outside of the overlay itself, and then there's no confirmation button, and the only thing that gets rid of it is another function of when something is loaded successfully. And then like you can have like a loading screen or something like that, or a loading overlay. Oh, it's cool. You can actually change your background too to be transparent, so it only shows like maybe an icon or something like that, so you can't see anything. So those are really nice things you can actually do with it, and hopefully you can get to do some more stuff with it. But in this case, I'm using it in front of a div here, or in front of for just a single div or overload on a div. So with Sweet Alert, as you can see here, it shows up, right? If I click here on this menu, well, I can't click on the menu. I can't do anything. So now if I change my Z index to a higher number, now I can actually click on that menu and do whatever I need to. Now with design work, you have to watch out for things like this, especially being like full stack front end developer. Not just like, because you can separate all these things, right? You can be You can be a web designer to where you just like, hey, listen, this is the template. You do whatever you want with it. Then you'll be this would probably be more design work to make sure that it doesn't show over or that it has a higher Z index. And of course, you make the proper class in CSS. Oh, excuse me, or element change or something like that. Like you always just you have to do little things like that, right? And then you have actual front end developer, and the front end developer is the one that's going to be dealing with JavaScript and the actual JavaScript itself, the actual front end JavaScript files and things like that, like we were working on in terms of making certain buttons work, making the suite alert actually show up over a certain div, list items, and taking entry and making entry forms and things like that, like we're doing. And then, of course, you'll have your backend developer that deals with all the backend stuff that takes all that data from the front end and sends data to the front end. And then, database. Excuse me. And then you would have your database developer from there. So like, you can split all those different things up, and those lines are really blurred, especially if you're like a full stack developer in a small company. You're doing all of those things that I just mentioned. You're doing the design work, you're doing a little front end development, back end development, and database management, or database admin stuff. You're doing all of that stuff, making sure that if you have like a large database, or a large system that has a cluster for excuse me, cluster for your database, then or a cluster that makes up your database, then you have to deal with stuff like that. Oh goodness, I'm so yawny today. And I was like, I only laid down for like 2 seconds, man, but I guess it wasn't that long. It's like probably like I think I 8:50. 8:50 is when I actually laid down. Oof, hopefully I can wake up, guys. I apologize. I know it's been probably been annoying for that. And then we in the last video or the video I made yesterday, the Obfuscate solution video. That's one of the first of probably many videos. So when I get stuck on something, not waiting till the next stream to actually show you guys what I did, but doing a quick video of what I actually did to fix the problems that I had, and how I did it. In that case, what I did is I used the template engine handlebars, which is what I use for my templating engine, to actually dynamically inject JavaScript files. So, or custom JS files. So that's how I'll be doing it. That's how I'll be doing it from now on. I actually like that solution and the way it's working. Pretty much everything gets rendered. There's no code that has to be done in JavaScript or anything like that or added. And it's a little bit more dynamic as well. So the only thing I could foresee is having problems with like, loading certain JavaScript before others and stuff like that. So just have to put everything in order. But I could foresee that maybe I have some problem in here for one reason or another. Not sure what though. All right. All right. So we have this item here. Come on, get away. What? All right. So, that's odd. So I'm like having a problem with this Z index here, or not Z index, but I'm having a problem with this menu. Huh. Weird. I wonder if it's just weird. Yeah, it wasn't firing off, so I don't know if it's because of the live CSS change that I just made. But it wasn't disappearing when I clicked on the page. But yeah, so we have the suite alert here. The reason why we have something like this is that I want, if the default lists that I need for the actual program or the whole system to work are not available, it prompts the user and makes them put in that information. So I can even have like a whole pre-check for every single page every time you load JavaScript or something like that. If an item is not available, you have to go and go to your settings or something like that. with Sweet Alert, which is really nice, which is a really sweet library. Pun intended. Um, we can do. This is the alert here, or this is the code for that alert that you see. Oh, let's increase font size here. So this one, this is the new thing I learned, target. So I just did a quick search on that and I found that there's a different way of doing it where you actually do document.get element by ID and then you put in the actual ID. You pass that function the ID and then it shows you and then it does what it's supposed to, but that wasn't working. That was probably for an older version. So now almost like, it's using like a jQuery syntax or, not even jQuery, but like almost a CSS syntax really. With this, all I have to do is, even if I could probably even do it by class too, I guess is what it looks like. But this right here, target, and then modify list body. So this is the actual modify list body or card in this case. And in that card, I can, I have all my information, but I don't want you to access it until until I say, hey, listen, it passes all the checks. So let's actually, oh wow, this chick is like tatted on the side of her head. Well, screwhead. All right. Let's go to Sweet Alert. And then what we want to do is disable. So we have allow outside click, and then we want to disable the confirm button. Allow enter key, show confirm button, and then what we're going to do is with this option, we're going to change that to false. You can even change the text in our confirm button, so you can see it here. You can change the text and everything else. But as we see it, once we reload, says we're okay. We don't want anyone to click outside, nor what's it called? Click outside of this to show it or to get rid of it. So we already did the outside click false or allow outside click false. Now we're going to, and it takes a JSON object. So we're just gonna choose show confirm button false as well. And then if I go like here, so it shows nothing. And so and then we can do, proper text in there. We can even change the icon to error, and that would be a string. These are icons that it already has default in the library. So you have this error, you have try me, you have the success, you have the error. So these are really nice ones. So actually, let's do warning. I think that works a little bit better. And then make sure it's valid JSON. So missing necessary list. All right. And then what we'll probably do is go to the back end and call a list and see what lists are available. Maybe even have something on the back end to check for that as well. So we'll see. Okay, let's see here. So icon warning. Thinking about what I want here. And then also the position absolute. That's important too in terms of making sure that shows up in the proper div. And you can add HTML to Sweet Alerts as well, which we'll actually do. But missing necessary lists. And then with this, we can actually add HTML to this item. So let's see how to do that. So HTML, you select it, and then the color, and then you can see that it takes template literal, so it uses the backticks, and then we can actually put in actual functions or the result of variables, functions, or anything else like that. So that's pretty cool. We could do this in the different orders and stuff like that. And then there's like pre-confirms and stuff like that. I did want to show you that. So you can see that we can have a text area, we can have a select even. So that's pretty cool. All right. So we'll definitely put a select in there, a select element, and have a couple items in there. So let's start coding that up. And we can also like code this in other places too, like just actually code this as a web page. But essentially, we can uh, HTML. We can code this as like a separate web page and then have all the elements in there. But we can have this as a couple divs and stuff like that. So I'll have my let's get a containing div here. I don't want to have an ID right now, but I can have one later if I wanted to. I can choose to have one later. So, and then I'll probably have like 4 rows. 2, 2, 3, 4. All right, and then in those rows, I'll have my class equals. I should have done this first. I do this often. Class equals row, and then in that row I might have. Oh crap! I don't need all of those. In that class, I'll have some columns. So call dash MD. I always use MD. It's just a force of habit, but you can actually just use call for column, COL dash MD dash XL dash XS, and those actually have different sizes when it comes to using, like, I think this uses, I don't know, I think this is, I'm not sure if this is Grid or Flexbox, but Grid or Flexbox allows you to have dynamic looking um, dynamic tables, if you will, or dynamic pages. Essentially splits the screen into 12 sections. So you can actually put elements within those 12 sections and it'll space accordingly. But then you can actually have it to where those divs will show up differently at different sizes or screen sizes. So that's how you have the responsive websites that actually change and kind of react or change the way they look or their layout depending on the depending on the size of the screen. So call MD and then I can do like a -2. But I probably do like a -6 or something like that because I don't need to take up half. So maybe like 3. And we'll see how it all looks because the sizing might be totally off. And it does it within the div itself and not the entire screen. So it'll take up a percentage from there. And you can see how that all looks in if you look at the inspect, use the inspect tool or the dev tools for Chrome and see how that actually changes and is dynamic. So we have that. And I'll get that twice. I only want 2 elements per row or 2 columns per row. And you'll see why here. Yeah, 2 columns per row. Yeah, and then I'll have like a whole submit thing. And they're still thinking about this tool and how it actually make this all work. So I have my row, and then this I'll repeat. 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I think I got an extra one in there. Damn it. I got an extra one. Indent really, this is why indent matters to me. And yes, Visual Studio Code, you can do this a lot better and it's a lot easier to manage, and it's has a lot of automated tools. I'm not using that. So yeah, it's a better tool. I will admit that. Okay. So let's look at this. Yeah, I only need 4, and then I need this 4 times. So, or no, I need this. No, I need the row 4 times. So I got to do the whole thing. So I was semi-right the first time. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. And then with that happening 4 times, I shouldn't have done that. Yeah, I don't need to do this yet. Kind of getting ahead of myself. From there, what I'll do is I'll do inspect, and then with this element, I know. So MD6. Yeah, there we go. Right here. And then, no, right here, this one. And then I need what's out of here. So I'll use my select item. That's not the actual code there. So let's find the right code, or the code that lies underneath all of that. Modify list. And this is the one that's like select to. So single JS basic single. Okay, cool. Basic single, and then I'm not putting anything in it yet. Oh, I'm doing a cut as if I'm like going to be doing this in the same file, but it's not going to be in the same file. So let's make sure we get this out of here. And for the first item, or the first column, I'm going to put in this list here, and then in the second column, I'll put in my select, and then the second column I'll put in my select, but use the tags instead. So this here, this doesn't use placeholders, so all right, cool. Just get this so I can copy this line. And this I'll put in. So I haven't figured out like the exact layout for this. So that'll be good for now. And then for the second column, which will have more items in it, I'll do the select for that. Okay. Oh, depending on how things go, guys, I'll be changing the how things go tomorrow. I'll be changing the schedule for this stream. I'll probably do it on Fridays and Saturday nights. Looks like I might be getting a night job, so that'll be cool. Yes, I'm using a back scratcher. But yeah, that'll be cool. So I do want to let you all know that I'll be changing the night time, or the times that I'll be doing streaming and stuff like that. Because if I get this night job, then I'll won't be streaming at the same schedule. Finally, can make some more money and really start getting some stuff done here around the house, which is necessary. Oh, my cousin is calling me. I'm going to have to talk to him later. Probably going to call me about cryptos right now. But yeah, I'm kind of happy about that a little bit. One, just to make more money, and then two, I can take that money and put it into other things. So that'd be cool. Oh, also, we're going to need another row. We're going to need a row by itself, and this will hold our button. Oof. Button class. I know this one by heart, says BTN, and I think it's like, I thought I knew it by heart. Button primary or something like that. I think it's like button primary. And then we'll do a submit button. And where we can actually have that check mark. That would be kind of cool. So this one here. That button shouldn't be anything serious. So we'll just get it from here, because being kind of lazy, and this is probably the hardest way of doing it, actually. So Joke's on me. So div style here, button, copy element, and here. All right, so I'll probably just do it like that. Yeah, work. And then can choose something like, I don't have to have, you see how you have like these buttons here? Like with the way coding works nowadays, you don't even really have to have things like this. I can have that feather icon with the circle and then just put that there. Like, we'll see how that looks. Like, I don't need the whole button tag or anything like that and all its styling. I don't need any of that. I can just do the eye, and then I can actually put an on click on that because it's an element or an HTML element. And then I can do alert. Clicked eye tag. All right, so click the eye tag, and that's really it. So you could do things like that. Also, we can do style. I think this should center everything. Text align center. All right, so that should center that in the div. No need for a placeholder here for the select, nor do we have any items. On this, we'll have some items. So we'll have, oof. Should we have any items? I mean, like, let's think about this, right? Like, if I have a list, why would I pick? Yeah, if I know that it's like, okay, I need a list that does this, and I don't want the user to pick the list twice or more than once, then do I give them a list? Like, if I don't want them to pick more than once, and I don't want to sit there and disable all the items, why even put the items in there? Just put put whatever the hell it is, what it's for, and that's it. Like put the input field, which we have here, and that's it. I don't need anything else. So yeah. So what would I put in its place? We have this right here with the list name, but I kind of like the way and then again, you guys can be creative with this. You don't have to be like, oh, okay, I want to do it like this, or I have to do it like that. No, you can be creative and be like, okay, I want to do it like this, and this looks quote unquote better to me, so I can do stuff like that. So let's borrow something here. It's a span. Okay, cool. So and I could do a span, and I can do I just see like I'm just coming up with this as I go along. Span, and then something list, right? And then put a space there. Probably put actually I don't need a space per se, because it should be spaced out and you won't see it. And again, this is why I only need like 3. If I split that div into 12 sections, I only need 3. Most of it will go to the other column. I probably only really need like 2. And give this 10. We'll see how that looks though. So this is for the tag entries. So with this, I can, the way this item is, I can actually put in, actively put in things as I want, or enter things in this select item, and then it would show as like a drop down. But I'm actually entering it on the fly, and it's not pre-rendered or taken from the back end or anything like that. Which I can have it taken from the back end though, which I might do for lists that are actually already available. All right, so span column 2. All right, so that should be. Let's see how this renders. Oh god, this looks like crap. That alert button works, so we see how that works. But the problem we have with this is that it doesn't look quote unquote right. So, and that text align didn't work. It's also off a little bit here. So I probably have to do like a vertical align or something. And then it does this text uppercase thing. I don't like that. But that's a class, so we can easily take that out. Also, we can see that our button, we do our test with the button here. So text align, and then I can do with this row, I can do a margin dash top to get us some separation here of probably at least 5 pixels. All right, and that'll give us a little spacing. Oh, can't right click. Oh, that's because that's happening. Oh, and then like this button here, let's do a style on it. Style equals, and we can turn all this stuff into classes later, which I may do like before really distributing or something like that. Distributing this whole project would be like, or just like really saying, oh, okay, this project is quote unquote complete. One of the refinements I would do is go back and actually put all these things into classes as opposed to having them as styles. Supposedly that it takes a little bit more compute, I believe, not by much though, but it takes a little bit more compute to actually render all these elements and read their styles. So I don't know how true that is, but I think I read that somewhere. I don't totally remember, but we can do cursor is the CSS element, and then pointer. Right, and we always want to end that with the semicolon. It's just syntactically correct. So now when we go over it, it does whatever it needs to. Now, one thing I missed though is that I don't have this. Look at that. Oh, we do have a little bit more separation here, but we're probably gonna do some more. But yeah, we're not liking this button in the way it is, so we're gonna do this here. Style width, and we're gonna put the cursor check here. And all right, and then you know, space this out. Before we do all that, let's just test it. See how it all looks. Text align. So 10 seems a little bit better. Probably 15 would be better. And then we'll do div row. We'll do text align center. Oh, no, that doesn't work. That's the other div. Yeah, so text align center doesn't work. So maybe it's, I don't think this should be text align though. Yeah, that's what I thought. It only moves around that I tag. But this should, the text align center should work on this. Yes, that's not a valid. It's not valid at all, though. Okay. We could do the old school align tag or align attribute, but that's frowned upon. The quote unquote better way of doing this is having this as a column. Yeah, that's what I'm doing wrong. I have to have this as nested within. I have that. So this is a row, and then I should have it. To do. Yeah, we want that, that. All right, cool. So we have this here, call MD, and then with this column, I don't need anything special here. And then I'll take this style here. I don't need the margin top because I already have that. I'll take the text align away from here, move it down there, call MD. It should be the only thing there, so Right, so it's centered, but it looks off. Yeah, it looks off because the rest of the list, but everything is there. But it's not taking my margin 5 pixels though. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's not taking my margin 15 pixels because I didn't update it here. So let's go ahead. Oh, and also we have this tool here. Um, this is easy auto refresh. I like using this 10 seconds. And then it'll just count down and it'll auto refresh this for me. Let's do 5 seconds because we just want to do this a little bit more. Now, if this is a page that's taking data from backend or something like that, I won't refresh it as much. But I like doing this so I don't have to like keep on refreshing it. So this is definitely a tool or plugin that I always use when I'm writing this code and making these changes. I'll turn it off when I'm trying to do stuff in the inspect element or the inspect tool or dev tools, but I don't, what's it called? In this case, I can just do all the stuff on the back end if I kind of know how it looks. So I'm looking at this, and I probably want to cut this down to, and I can center it, give it a little bit more space on the left and right hand side of this row here. But I could probably, in terms of to be quote unquote more aesthetically pleasing, I could probably put this down to 8, put this down to 4, and then go from there. Right. There we go. All right. So this looks I don't like that. I don't need that much for the first portion of it. And I'll just play around with that number. So like little changes like this that I'll make on the back end, I'll do it like this, and it's a little bit nicer in my eyes, or a little bit easier, kind of more hands off. So let's go to 225 pixels. All right, cool. All right, cool. So account list, we'll say account type. See how this spaces. And it's doing this by the way, because it says bad gateway, and that's mainly because I saved the file and PM2 might be that file might not be available, or PM2 might actually be restarting when I'm saving these files like that. Since it's in the view public folder, I think I have it ignoring that folder, so I'm not exactly sure why it should do that, but it probably is doing something like that. Well, actually, let's see. So we can see that for, I shouldn't be doing that. Weird. Maybe it's because I'm just saving the file, but I'm not sure. All right, so we can see how this spaces out. So we can take out the list. We can also switch our font. So our font weight, I think it's going to be font size is the style for that. So font styles, there's classes for this too. Class, oh, font size. And then I think it's just a regular number. So we can do like, not size 15, we could be like size 8 or something like that. I think that gives us what we want. Yep, so that's a little bit too low. So 80. Ooh, 80 is probably gonna be huge. And we can actually change this. Yeah, 80 is gonna be huge. So text font size, a normal one would be like 11, I think, right? 10 is like usually what I think I use for the most part. Yeah, so that's not too bad. I probably want to do like a 13 or something. That'll give me the same kind of, that'll give me the same feel here. So in this case, I'll take out the list portion of it. And then I'll add to where this column style equals vertical align. I think middle would be the right one. Shows as middle, but that's not right. I don't think that's right. That doesn't look like it actually took effect. So I'm doing it on the wrong one. And again, part of this is just me not knowing what these different styles actually affect. And that's just a problem on my end in terms of like how I got into this. I just started doing it. All right, so it's not working no matter what. So I'll have to test it. Vertical align. All right, so I'll disable this. I'll stop it. Go here. And then with this here on this element. All right, so because I think if I like add new CSS even more. Oh, okay. So font size is off. I think invalid property value. So value size. Okay, text size. Huh. That'd be cool. You can adjust it. Oh man, what is it? Font. This font. Oh wow, look at that. It's a cute dragon. Size. She says font size. Font size property. Oh, I thought I was right. Oh, okay. Font size. And then I have to do it in pixels. PX313, so that works now. I do want it to look like this, and I do plan on having it mostly on larger screens. So that should work, or that should be fine. I'll make those back-end changes here in a moment. But let's get this thing centered, man. Text. No, see, text align should be centered already. That should be good. Oh, this is what I mean where you see call MD3. You see how it flexes? So I think this is a Flexbox, I guess. But it flexes and then it only take up 25% as opposed to taking up even more or something like that. But you can see at different sizes, min width, in terms of your the width of your screen here or width of that the page is taken up. It already measures that, hey, anything with a minimum width of 768 pixels, it will display the box as X, Y, and Z. So it shows that my max width is this. If you actually press this arrow down here, it'll show that when you're doing flex, it's actually you could take 3 numbers, or I can do flex dash grow and then do these things separately and assign them a value if I wanted to customize it a little bit further. And I can even actually have like call MD3, but then I can have call XS 12 or something like that, meaning that when it's on extra small screens, that same div that only takes up 25% will at smaller screen sizes will take up 100%. So I can do things like that, or 12, which should take up 100% of the div minus all the padding and everything, or after padding and all that other stuff. So as you can see, like these things, you'll see the green on either side of the div. That's the actual padding. So I want to do. Oof, I want to say it's vertical. Ha! That's cool. Writing mode. That's really cool. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's just look it up. CSS. Vertical align text. So it's supposed to be the vertical align property. Ooh. Property sets the vertical alignment of an element. Uh, I think I'm just doing it in the wrong spot. Let's fix this on the back end. Just kind of chew on that for a little bit. Uh, PX. Take this out. Yes, that's good. All right. I don't want to do some weird stuff like, or not even weird stuff, but more static stuff like, margin top or something like that. That just doesn't work and doesn't calculate well, or doesn't always it doesn't respond well. Vertical line super is really cool because you can actually do it like exponents. If you wanted to do like 2 to the power of something, if you do vertical line super, it'll put it in the top right hand corner. And you can do the same kind of things with sub as well. So you can do it into the top or the bottom right hand corner. Text bottom. Oh, okay. Text top baseline. Well, I know I have middle. No, I don't think that worked when I did baseline. Yeah, I swear I'm just doing it in the wrong spot. So like it's vertical. Yeah, my text is not moving. I wonder if there's something on the span itself. So text align center, that's already there. So I shouldn't need it anywhere else, which I don't have it. Because sometimes you'll have other CSS rules that are in place that will take priority or supersede yours. And you can always do something like vertical line, middle, and then in that rule itself, I can just do important keyword, and then it'll override anything else. No, font weight. Does that even make such a slight change? Line height, normal. Yeah, okay. Text align center. So this handles the word wrapping. And I wouldn't mess with this anyways, but I just want to see if there's something that's causing. There we go. Display block important. So D block. And this is like really Bootstrap, I believe, that does this. But by making it, yeah, there we go. So if I did, yeah, so if I just did block, if I took that off, all right, so I just need something here to do the, so we'll leave that display on, and then we'll do a display, and then we'll change this. I can use something like unset, or no, none will make it disappear. Unset, and then with unset, and you can see how it's crossed, it has a strike through. That just means that it has no bearing over what's shown here, but now it does by me putting the important, because now this one gets disabled. So yeah, that's and then we can see it's not bad. It's a little bit better, more to my liking. I don't want it at the bottom. I don't need it at the top. But you can see that there's an unevenness where it's favoring more to the top than it is to the bottom. It's not in the exact middle, meaning that if I draw a line through the middle of this, it should also draw a line through the middle of this sentence. So that's not happening, but that's okay. So I'll take that and I'll just copy that right there, and then take out my vertical line middle because that does nothing. It's useless. And then go from there. And then that should be it. Weird. It shows this like little element in the back end. I'm seeing that in the background there. And then we can have our button that does whatever it needs to do here. So this button would you see that? I don't see what, I don't know what that is. Weird. I can probably, if it doesn't disappear, expand recursively. In this case, actually get rid of this whole entire thing here. Yeah, that's weird how it shows it there as opposed to, wow, I wonder why it does that. So it's showing our whole list behind the item, and that might mean we have to change its Z index. Yeah, okay. All right, cool. So now I know that I can right click, choose that there, and then this select or this span. Well, let's just select that because that's the only thing I could really deal with. I can't do anything on the other stuff. Yeah, that's not good. Because that box behind is put there by the library itself. So I shouldn't be able to do anything with it. Like that span, if I do like a C dash index and then do 1. Yeah, I can't do anything about that. That's not the greatest. I mean, it's not a big deal either, because I can go like this and still delete all these things. But ooh, I don't like it. For now, it is what it is. There's not much I can do to unless I go into the actual library itself and see, or even do some research and see if the library itself allows me to make that change. So we'll go ahead and take that off. I got no viewers right now, but guys, the people that are watching the playback or will watch the playback, I do appreciate you guys as always. Didn't start the stream off with that. I do always want to show you guys appreciation. It's a lot of this stuff is for me in terms of making sure I stay on top of doing my own thing and just, just not just sitting there doing work for everyone else, but also it's a way to help other people so you can show them, hey, this is the process of quote unquote being a web developer, and just showing you guys, hey, how I'm figuring out these problems, and then the fact that I get stuck and things don't work out exactly the way I planned them to. But we always find solutions, and that's kind of the biggest things, that we have to find solutions for these problems, because if we don't, somebody else will, and you might not have a job. So figure it out. But thanks to all those that are actually watching or on the playback here. Really appreciate you all. All right. Must be like a Kevin Samuels night or something like that. Oh my God, the show is so crazy now, man. All right, so let's. I think we're good, and we have our general mock-up. Now we want to see how it looks with a couple items. So. And we want to give each one of these an actual ID, but we can do that in JavaScript and place an ID on these. different lists here. So, okay, this is nice, nice too. So with the overflow in the div, it's actually giving us a little bit more to work with, which is kind of cool. Or it scrolls essentially is what I'm saying. So why isn't this? Oh, no, no, no. It's doing that for every single one of them. That will not do. Div row. Oh, okay, so I only needed this one. That's the last row. And I did. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. I don't like how this is showing up to be so large, but we'll see if this persists. And it does, and that looks like crap. Oh, in list select 0. So we have multiple. All right, so let's, and then, yeah, as I was saying with the IDs, we can just make those smaller. Well, we can make those increment or change the name, and we'll have that happen with our backend JavaScript or our front end JavaScript to create these elements based off of the amount of lists that we need. So for instance, if we already have an account type list or any other type list, we'll create those elements accordingly. Oof, what did I do? Did I just do what? Totally not focused here. 2, 3. All right, great. So that's nice, but let's do a little bit of spacing here on all of these. So let's do a margin bottom on all of them. Let's do it on the row itself. Style. And we do all these things here, so then eventually we can turn these things into classes so they're reusable. And then when we make one change on one class, it makes changes on the rest of the classes. The only thing I don't like about classes is that it's just it's not custom. So there's a lot of things. It's made that was stupid. That was a very stupid comment. Classes are made to be reusable. The problem is sometimes I never find when I actually have a class, one, there's classes in the CSS, like maybe it's the Bootstrap CSS or some other type of CSS, and I don't know about them because I just don't go into it that deeply. My fault, guys. Do your research, look into it. I usually look into it when I need it. I will be totally upfront about that. But excuse me. Um, and then also like sometimes I want these things and it's just like I only use them once. So it's like, why do I need a class for something I'm only going to use once? Or I might use different font sizes, but I'm only using that font size, like maybe the next element over, I want to use a font size like 1 pixel smaller. Like, why would I make a whole class for that? That doesn't make any sense to me. So that's the battle I have with classes. And I just don't use them. I really don't use them a lot. I say I go back or I'm gonna go back and do it and make the changes, and that's one of those where it's like I have to be in the spirit to do that because fuck front end work. Front end work is for the fucking birds. Really do not like front end work, man. But we got to do it. Make our stuff look pretty. All right, so let's just replicate this. And if I was like, if I was talking to my a good friend, my brother Jermaine, I would be like, you need a search. You need a search. Why are you putting this in every line? Oh, it's only 4 items, so I won't beat myself up over that because myself is never wrong, and I never want to do self abuse. But usually I always get on people and be like, why are you doing that? Just use search for row and then insert row or replace your row with row plus whatever extra string. It's just like sometimes it's just not necessary, but I do that to other people because they'll do this 100 times and it will not look good. All right, cool. This looks a lot better. And oh, that's why this is looking bad too. So let's select. We'll say like 0A, something like that. So this will look better in the background. Boom, 0A. All right, cool. Um, yeah, I like this. So this looks good. And what we want this to do, we can actually have it as soon as the page, um, as soon as the page, as soon as the page is fired, we'll run a JavaScript, and our JavaScript can look in the back end and then do this or fire this off as soon as what's it called? Fire this off as soon as as the page starts. So we can actually do an Ajax, or not even, we can do an Ajax if you're using jQuery, an XHR if you're using vanilla JavaScript, or an Axios call if you're using Axios to do any type of API calls. So Ajax, XHR for vanilla JavaScript, and then Axios if you just want to use a third-party library. Nowadays, I'm using Axios for everything, front end and back end. Looks like my connection is unstable. Sorry about that, guys. Let's see how it looks on the front end. Let's see how it looks on the front end. All right, sound is good. I won't be streaming too long. I think I'm running out of my free time on this platform. And with me getting a new job, I can afford to do more things, such as pay for this on a monthly basis, along with some other stuff, and really invest a little bit more into some crypto and stuff too. So, um, so let's open up Postman, and one of the final things we'll do here is we will uncomment all of this stuff, or we'll comment out all of this code here, and we'll do a toast message. So I have a toast message already here, and then this is something I was doing before, but it didn't make any sense. So I just putting it in there. So you'll see here it says sign in successfully. You hover over it, stops the timer. Those are all options that you can actually do. But what I'm going to do is have it talk to the back end. So did open. How would I do this? Wallfire. Um, duh, 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 duh. Hmm. Maybe I'll have it like not show anything, and then if it connects to the back end, goes from there. Let's make sure our JavaScript is in place for Axios. Yes, it is. And with Axios, we can do a get, simple get here. So fat, and then we can do get. Why are all these named improperly? Rename. I like shortcuts. So once I find a new shortcuts help so much. I mean, they just shorter and ways of doing stuff. But definitely, I like shortcuts. All right, so entry type, get entry type, get entry. I saw I had one for list. Get account type. So these are the different lists, but I can do get entry. I could post, add a list, and then I can get all of my list. Entry, those are my entries. Entry type. I swore I had a list endpoint. Maybe I didn't add it here. Well, we can just look at our code and find it. Yeah, we can look at our code and find it, but let's see here, code, and then we're gonna do, you can do XHR, but I want to do Axios. Oh, they don't have Axios? Am I missing it? Here we go, Node.js Axios. And do a config here. We'll copy that code. And this is what's nice about having this documentation here. We can just easily get to that code like that. I'll call Axios. What we'll do, we'll wrap all this in a function. List takes nothing. We can even wrap this in a, yeah, we'll actually wrap this in an anonymous function because we want this to always run at the beginning. And that, and I think I did that right. So there's that. Oh no, I did. I was supposed to do this. An anonymous arrow function. Then do this. Yeah, do this. And then, oof, oh, Jesus, I haven't done this in a day. There we go. There we go. So that should be our anonymous arrow function. Let's just test that. Console log. Test. Perfect. Just wanted to make sure that syntax on that was correct. You know, you just do some things so much, but even when you do that, it's still not enough for you to remember. So we're gonna do Axios. Axios. How do you run Axios? I think we could just do this. We could do Axios.get as well, but I'm gonna do all the way I usually write my Axios calls is where I have the config in the middle here, something like that. So I'll have it looking like that. That's my method, my URL. I don't need the headers, so that's not necessary for me. In this case, my URL, since it's local, I don't need to put in anything else because it's not really external. Account ID, get entry type, and we'll just do all. Oh, let's see what we do have available to us. So Nano server controller, and that should be an API, and then we should be doing gets. So that's where that is. And then we want to do list. Nothing for list found. Okay. User get. Okay, get. So I don't have a get for list. Okay, account, user input, account, type, user for name. So this is all the account stuff. Entry endpoints. I don't have entry type, get entry type, and then params user input. All right, so I think it's get entry type and then list. So get entry type and then, in this case, list. No matching entry exists. Oh, I swore I wrote. This could be just a case of because I got remove list. Get. I don't think I wrote it down. I may just not have it. To be quite honest, I think we were just messing around with it the last time. But entry, this is where documentation would actually help me here in terms of putting just a little bit of information in there. So accounts, entry schemas, account entry model. Yeah, I don't have like a list entry model in here, so I guess I just didn't implement it yet. But that's crazy because I think I put it in for my ad. And yeah, I put in for the ad, but I didn't make a list entry model type. Let's see if we can make that real quick. Yeah, we got a couple more minutes here. All right, so let's do a get, and then entry. We'll do entry endpoint. So we'll do get get account response. All right, so we have an overall function. All right, endpoint entry endpoints. We have a function like this that we define. The way we did it is we'd make this function here, and then we'd make our call in a standardized way. So you'd get list, and then I want to do a get all. I do a get all. So that'll be user input, get entries response. So get list response, and then I have my callback, which is a res send, no entry find, and then I would do. So let's go out here, add my list model. I'll find so like yeah, I think that's all I'm going to need from that. So using my list entry model, and then we did this a couple streams ago, so I won't go through it too much. I don't have too much time for streaming. All right, so list user input, success, total records. What we'll do is we'll change anywhere that says entry, and we can do an Alt C for to make it case sensitive, and then we'll change that with list. So yes, 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 yes. And this is the good thing about making things standardized. You can just easily copy and paste stuff. Yes, 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 yes. And that's it. I don't want to go any further than that. Get list result. I don't need the balance in the result. Total records, yeah, we can keep that. List count documents, so we can get our count there. And the console log. List user input. So let's see if there's any problems. No. And then we will do get entry type. All right, cool. Make that look good. And then we have a remove list, so we'll do a get list. So get, and then is this all? So yeah, we want to do this one. Get entry all, and then we'll do a duplicate, and then we'll rename that with Control E. Get list all, and then yeah, that should be good. Save that, send it, see what happens. Cool. So that's pretty easy, right? Getting all our lists here. This is actually wrong, but still pretty easy. So that's wrong. Oh, okay, that's why. We want to do get list. Safe. All right, no matching list exists. Now, this just might be because we actually have no matching list. So add list, access level list. So timestamp list member, we successfully added it. So let's see if we can actually, because I already know I made that because of course we have it there, but I just didn't make a get for it. We're doing a lot of work on that. So that doesn't work properly. Let's see if we can get this right. / list. Get entry list, entry type. We're passing an entry type. We're going to do entry type. This entry type is request param string. So it should be a list. Let's go back to our add list. It should be list. List name, I believe. And I think we would do get response. Oh, for all, I think we just put in this. We just put in all. Right. And then let me see here how I have it in other areas. Params var, account type, institution. Get. Oh, no, that's for the all. Params var. So account type, well, in this case, we don't have that. If it is query, request params variable. All right, cool. Yeah, I think we have that right. Okay, so in this case, we don't, if it is not all, so all right, cool. We have all there. It's like kind of reverse engineering my own stuff here because I forgot. Boom, there it is. But it's still looking up entry. So we got something off here in our query. List, query object, and the query variable. Request param string. And it's like list and then user input in this case, which is all. Yeah, this might be the last thing we do here. Yeah, I'll figure this out later. I know this returns success, and then we'll work with that. So and guys, again, sorry for the choppiness. I'm not sure what's going on with my wireless, but it's showing me on my side that it's probably not working well. All right, so I'll fix that later. I'm kind of running out of time here. Request find, query object, list find, query object, and then request param string. If it is not all, if request is not all, do this. And then in that case, our param string is going to be, it's our query object there. Callback, get list result count is 0. Status, payload, yeah. Request param string. Actually, is there anything? No, nothing on the back end. All right, let's just do this front end stuff. All right, so we're gonna do get entry type all. We're just gonna do all, and then Axios, and then with the Axios, uh, we're gonna do this here. So method is that. All right, Axios, and then how do we handle the response again? So Axios, and then I think it's like then, because it's thenable. I'm gonna do double parentheses there. Arrow function. Then we'll do if response dot status, because we should have a status, equals success. Then we can do this here. So, and we'll do all that stuff is defined beforehand. So just to make sure everything is firing off the way it needs to, now we'll move that down. And then we will do if, and then this right here, and then put in our stuff here for our toast message. And we're going to need this to be a multi-line if, because we're going to chain this to an else. Okay. So, and if it's chained to an else, then we'll do false. We'll do an error. Success. List loaded. And then we'll do an error. So you can see how this loads unable to load a list. Let's see how this works here on the front end. All right, we got problems. Call class as function. Pretty print. Cannot call class as function. So what did I do? Then now where did it show that? That showed in Swall, right? This is, yeah, okay, so Sweet Alerts is doing that. And maybe I did it too many times. Maybe I only have two options, or I can only use this once, which would be kind of weird. I don't believe that. But it says cannot call as function. Yeah, so toast fire, const toast, top end 300, true, progress bar, that, if response. Actually, we'll do console.log just to make sure we're getting our response data. Doesn't look like that's a problem though, but I do want to see it. So it's not liking that. It's not liking that I'm firing it in here. It's small. Weird. Toast fire. I wonder if I can just go. And then, because I don't necessarily need this, so I can go like this. Again, I'm just butchering this just to try and get this done within a certain period of time here. Because I can do all those. I can do those separate firings and just reuse this in a sense. But I think it's because success. Yeah, I think it's. Let's do this. Yeah, let's see what happens. Else. All right, cool. So that works somewhat. Unexpected token. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. So that is for that. So I need another one of these. Console log. API get type all. Okay. Get list all. 404 not found. Great. So we got our data, and then that should fire off on our page. I did like the way this was called, so I want to make sure that I keep on doing that, but let's kind of end the stream here until I start paying for StreamYard here. I only got like a couple more minutes left for the month, which is fine. I usually don't go over, but I've been doing some pretty long streams lately, so been talking a lot. It's a great bit of therapy for me. All right, so this is what happens when you put all your money in investments and also other stupid stuff. But mostly in investments, I swear. The money all went to good places. All right, cool. So let me get this response out here, and then we'll do something with that response the next time. Okay, so yeah. No, we want to get the web page. So there we go. All right, cool. So let's see what it does. No? Oh, it does the mix in, so we need to do a fire. So the mix in is just defining these things, but we can actually do all that stuff with just fire. And there we go. Should do it now. Unable to load list. Oh no. Well, this is where we put back in console.log response. And it should be response.status, but I think it's probably like response.data.status. Data.status. But in this case, it didn't equal success. Yeah, no, so it's data.status. And yeah, so that should load our list, and then we can do something with this div where it's not hidden. Or we can get rid of something if we wanted to as well. Okay, that's it for now. I'm gonna lay down for a little bit, and then yeah, I'm gonna lay down for a little bit, and then probably do some more coding here. Oh no, actually, I gotta work out. I definitely gotta work out tonight. Didn't do much today in terms of like working out, so I've been kind of lazy with that. I'm not gonna lie. Not eating the greatest either, but it's a journey. All right, so we went over doing the swell fire here, and showed you guys how to do that overlay, and then now we're doing it based off of we're doing these fires based off of what's it called? Darn it, what is it called? We're doing these fires based off of what we're doing in terms of the element. In fact, let's do one more thing. You guys thought I was actually gonna leave. The hell you take me for? Somebody that's short-winded? No, not over here. We like to talk. All right, cool. So small fire there. I want to see if I can just target an element with that. Let's see what it does. No, it doesn't do what I thought it would. All right, cool. We'll figure that out another time, guys. But yeah, for now, that's it. Hey, for all those that are watching the playback, really appreciate you guys as always. As I said, I will be changing the stream schedule. Looks like I got a little night job here, so I will be working. I'll be off on Friday and Saturday nights. So I guess that's kind of cool. I'll have some extra money in my pocket and stuff like that to get some more stuff done around the house. Also pay for probably more StreamYard, so that'll be cool. Or more time for StreamYard, so that'll be cool. And get some other things done too in terms of other projects that I wanted to do for the channel. But always, as always, thank you guys for watching, listening, and I hope this is actual actionable intel for you all. Say that 3 times fast. And I hope this does help somebody out there. I really do appreciate those that comment. I do see the views, even if you guys are viewing for a minute or so. Really do appreciate it, and I hope it does help. And I wish you would stay longer, maybe for a whole stream. But I know how it is. This stuff isn't always entertaining. But yeah, maybe I'll do a stream when I get something like this in place. Oh yeah, think about actually building some control code using a Raspberry Pi to steer one of these things. Just saying. These things and more may be possible. All right, guys. As always, peace and appreciate you.